Hello again. Cheryl from Sherls Crafts Co-op again, and I'm here to do another little craft along project with Cheryl's amazing downloads. I'm not sure if she's put this up yet or not, but there's two freebies that she's going to be putting up. This is one of them. This is the other one with, of course, her attached. I've already cut her out because we're going to use her. So I'm going to use these fun freebies as well as tags from the kit and one of the little journal cards. We're going to use lace. We're going to use a couple tabs. We're going to use some gears here and two different inks. I've got a vintage, photo, and a gold. Mix them together, makes them look a little more bronzy. I also have these smaller gears, and of course a big mess going on my table. I also need a little piece of coffee dyed paper, and then I have different laces and stuff that we're going to use. And whoa, a piece of lace stuck there. Okay, big old piece. Okay, so what we're going to make. First off, let me tell you, I tried making this video the other day. I was supposed to do it on June 3rd. Unfortunately, I had major technical difficulties. And so here I am again. I did not have a prototype. I just kind of went for it. So when I had my technical difficulties, I apparently didn't have enough room on my phone. So I had to go and take all my photos and move them to my laptop and delete them from here, so I'd have some room, because I use my phone. But this is what we were making when all my issues started. We are making this cute little, I don't even know what we'd even call it, but it's just super cute. It ties together. You can actually even wrap it around a small journal. You can send it in a happy mail, whatever you can see. You can wrap it around and tie it. So it's really cute on top of like a flip-flop journal or something. I did one here, a little bit more shabby chic like, and I actually made two of these. And one of them I did put on a flip-flop journal, and it was so cute, just as a kind of the cover and tie it closed. So we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it with Sherls beautiful digitals, or steampunk digitals. Oh my gosh, they're just beautiful. And so, yeah, let's just kind of go for it. I went ahead and prepped a few things because I didn't want to have a very long video. And that's, I think, was part of my issue too. My video was just getting way too long, and my phone was like, I'm done with you. So here I am again, back again, and we're just going to go for it. We're just going to jump in. So you want to pick the tags that you want. I have picked these. I have printed them on cardstock to make them thicker, because you're going to want them a little thicker. If you have done them if you print them out and you don't have cardstock or thicker paper, no big deal. You just take your printed paper and find something like a chipboard or a cereal box or something, and glue them to that and then cut them out, just to give them that, you want to have them, fairly stiff. I don't know if you can hear that. I love that ASMR sound. You can use index cards. These are 3x5 index cards, and that would fit perfectly on there. So index cards are inexpensive. You can find them everywhere. I actually found these at my grocery store. I have never seen craft colored ones. These are so cool. I think they're like, I don't know, $3.50 or something for a pack of 100. If you have a Smith's grocery store in your area, that's where I found them. I have two Smiths by me. They have a bigger one and a smaller one. They did not have it, the smaller one. But if anybody wants some, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to grab some and send them to you for, of course, the cost of the shipping and the cards. So, just let me know. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start inking our papers, our tags that we're going to use. Since I already have them cut out, I'm just going to start, sorry, just a little white there, and a little white. We want to make sure all the white is covered. Now some of it may show when we glue together, but that's okay. We'll just go over to give us some ink. If it's really bad, we'll just trim it. So I'm just going to go over with the gold first, and I'm just going to kind of really get it on there. I like how I can get the edges, and then I can get a little bit on top here. I think for steampunk, that looks really cool, to have more ink than less ink. Okay, so there's that one. We're gonna go all over all of them with the gold first, and then we'll go over with the brown. If you notice, I don't even use a dauber. I just kind of wing it as I go. And I try to do it as fast as I can, especially on camera, because I think there's probably nothing more boring than watching somebody ink. And I kind of blew it. I meant to ink them all except for one, and just show you how I ink on one. But since I kind of biffed on that, you get to see all of them, but I did it pretty fast. Okay, so there's the gold. Now I'm going to go over it with Vintage Photo. And I don't know if this picks up in the camera or not, but it does give it a little bit more of a bronzy look instead of the gold. You can always come back in, because this is Distress ink, so you can come in with like a wet finger or something and really rub that Vintage Photo in there. And I don't know if you've noticed that if you use Vintage Photo and you get it a little wet, it actually changes the color a little, and it's actually a really cool color. Move that around a little. It ends up being a really cool color, kind of almost like if you were making age tape color. It's it's really cool. Okay, so now those are inked up. Now we're going to, of course, glue them back to back. Now I need to remember which way I had it. This one goes with this one. Okay, this one goes with this one. Okay, I had already pre-decided, so I just had to remember. These are going to be our inners, and these are going to be our outers. So let's go ahead and just quickly glue up those. Oh, you know what I want to do? So on these, I actually did this on the outside, because it was kind of an afterthought, and I'm actually thinking about cutting them out and putting them in between instead of having this line here. On the front, it really doesn't, at least on this one, it doesn't matter because it doesn't show, and it's not that bad, but we'll just do it real fast. Let's cut this out. I've already picked 2 of these, so shouldn't take more than a couple seconds here to get this cut out. I always seem to go around the outer edge first, and then I cut back in case you want to know how I do it. And then I cut back into this little spot here because my scissors are big and I don't have my little ones with me right now, so I don't want to accidentally cut into the tab. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then we'll ink these up really fast and glue them together and place them where we want them. I don't mind if the black line is showing or not showing because I'm going to ink anyways. So I'm not being too picky about that. If you want your black line to show, then of course you probably want to take a little bit more time and precision in cutting. I'm a very messy crafter, so I really don't care. I don't know why messy goes with I don't care, but I don't mind the black lines not being there, even though they're kind of cool. But like I said, we're going to ink it, so we should be okay. Okay, so that one's going to go with that one. That one's going to go with this one. We're going to, sorry, I have a little cold going on right now. We're going to ink that out. And we're going to take and do this the same way. We're just going to take some gold and go around it on both sides. And we want to make sure we get this folded edge really well, because obviously that is going to show. Okay. Put some gold on that one. Now let's do this one. There we go. Now let's go ahead and put a little brown on top of that. I don't know if you can see in my ink, there's some gold. If you don't like having that extra little gold in your ink pad, then use a dauber, or go ahead and use two different ink pads, you know, one for mixing and have one for not mixing. Okay, so before I glue those down again, I almost messed up. We're going to glue this together, and then we're going to glue this down. And it looks like I'm going to be doing it about right there. Okay, so we're going to glue this one on right where we want it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue the tab to it, the other tag onto it, and make sure we get the corners, because we don't want it to lift. Very important not to lift on the corners. Okay, and we're lining up pretty good. Okay, now that I have this way, I kind of like it the other way, but that's okay. We're just going to keep going because most of it's going to get covered anyways. And I do have some white on this side. So, and it's a little bit more white than I think the ink will cover. So we're just going to go ahead and trim just a little bit off. And then come in with our ink and ink up where we cut off. All right. There's our first one. And now we're going to do the same thing with this one. Now, where you put your tab, inside or outside, that is total preference up to you. Like I said, on my prototype, I have it sticking out. And this one I'm gluing in. And now that I've glued it in, I almost like it out. So it's really a preference, whichever one you want to do. Whoops, thought I had glue on that, and I didn't. Okay. There we go. Get that in place where we want it. And now, of course, kind of moved it. Okay, we're going to go along the edges. On the edge there. along the edge there and fill in. And then add this one on top. Straighten up my tab because it's a little crooked. Okay, there we go. Wipe off the excess glue there. Okay. Let's make sure we've then of course we're going to cut off a little bit of this extra white. It's a little bit more than I want. There we go. And put my lid on my glue so it doesn't go seeping out everywhere. And now I'm just going to go over where we cut so we don't have any of that white showing. Okay. Now on to the next thing. I went ahead and pre-cut her out, and I did back her. I gave her some of that card because she's going to hang off. So I wanted to have something that, one, not have the white, but two, if it showed, it blended in. Now see, this craft color really does go with these gears here. So I don't really have to do anything to it. I could, if I want to, go in and ink that. So that again is a preference. But we'll just see what it looks like inked and see if it even helps. Oh, well, it gives, I don't know if you can see that, but there is a gold shimmer there. On there. So that's what's going to show is the gold shimmer. And then I'm just going to go around her. I did add a little piece of off of here, off of this sheet. She had a little skirt in this one. And I went ahead and just cut the skirt out, then ripped it to give her a little, give her more length. And more of a Victorian skirt. That's going to end up on that side. Yep. Okay. All right. So now we have her. And now we're going to play with what we're going to do with her and what we're going to put behind her and all that other fun stuff. So I have this black lace here. And what I did in this one is I just cut a piece off and put it behind her. Because this is called, what is this called? Lace and lever shades, I think is what it's called that I'm doing. Lever shade, if you're not sure what a lever shade is, I was not sure. I had to ask Sherls. I was like, what do you mean by lever shade? It's a parasol. So that's what we were using. Parasols and laces. And I need to decide which way I like this. I think like that. So we're going to take off. I don't think this will it rip. Oh, yay. I haven't tried to rip this lace yet. That's even better. Give it a little gothic grunge. Yeah. I'm all about the grunge. I love grunge. Okay, so we're going to end up putting that on there. She's going to go over the top of that. And I need to give her a little something at the bottom of her skirt. So I have this cute polka dot ribbon that I picked up at Michael's on the Gothic area. And I'm just going to cut a little piece off the edge because there's a little ruffled edge. And I'm going to give her a little ruffle at the bottom of her skirt. I do need to trim a little bit of that off, so because her skirt's not square. It's a little ripped and different. So we're just going to add that to the bottom of her skirt. Just like so. Just like so. And then while that's drying, we'll go ahead and put some glue down for our roughed up lace. And I'm going to put that I'm going to put that near the top more. Need a little more glue right there. I think whatever I missed gluing at the top, this will get it when I glue down there. So we just want to make sure that's on. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and figure where we want to place her. Okay. I think that's a good spot for her. So now I'm just going to go ahead and glue her down. I'm not doing the sides obviously because it's hanging off, but also too because we're going to be adding some gears, and I want to, since I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put the gears, I want to make sure that there is space to put the gears. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring her up that way. Okay. And now she's on. Let's set her aside and let her dry for a minute. And let's go ahead and come over to our second tab that we're going to do. And that's this side here. Really easy. I actually made this to where it could be a small pocket if you wanted. This here does have a little opening. This is still too big. It's a little thin opening, so you can actually make this a pocket if you want. Oh, my gears are following me everywhere. Okay, so now this side, we're going to use this, and I decided on this hat because I feel that every steampunk girl needs to wear a hat, right? Except for this is a little big. I love all the gears around it, but unfortunately it is too big for this tag, so I'm going to have to trim it down. I probably could have tried to resize it, but I'm not very good with that. I'm not very tech savvy. Okay. My gears are just going everywhere. I think my scissors are magnetic. Are they magnetic? Oh, they are. That's why. Apparently my scissors are magnetic. Keep grabbing the gears every time I go by it. I am going to soften the corners a little. Just a little choop, right off the edge there. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink that as well. And then frame, aren't I? I'm still rolling. Are we still? I don't want any more difficulties. Okay. Excuse me. There is the gold. Now I'm going to go over it with some brown. And this one I'm doing more on the edge, just because I want to give it that definition. I want it to pop and not blend into the back paper. And another way to do that too is, of course, to use a little piece of coffee dyed paper, like what I'm going to do here. And we're just going to rough up this edge. There we go. Give it a little rough in it, a little rough up. Okay, there we go. And that is going to end up being right there. The other thing I need, I have this black dress I picked up at a thrift store. That was actually older and vintage. I thought I had a little piece of it cut there, but I don't. This fabric, which seems to be the best way to find black, by the way. If you have a local thrift store, just go look for black dresses that you can rip apart the fabric. Laces, black laces, I don't know why they're so hard to find. But probably the best thing to do would be to find a dress that has black lace on it. That's what I've been doing. When I can't find black lace, I go find a black lace dress or something with it on there, black lace on the outfit, and cut that up. What am I looking for? Oh yeah. What did I do with it? Okay. Well, I threw it over there. I wanted to give my coffee dyed paper just a little bit more definition. And of course, I set my ink where I couldn't find it. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and glue this down. First, I'm going to glue this to this. And there we go. We have that on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I did just glue 3 sides just in case I wanted it to be a pocket. Of course, it's not going to hold a lot, just maybe a little couple tags, but she has these cute little, on these quotes, she has like these really cute little, I don't know what you call them, they're just cute. You can stick them in there. Some little words on paper. Different steampunk words. Okay, the other thing we're going to do is put a ruffle across here. I need to cut that down. And there is quite a lot of that going on. Get that off there. And then I'm just going to use my glue and my fingers to give this a little ruffle. So I usually just kind of start in the middle and then just maneuver my fabric around to how I want it. There we go. And then it just gives it a little rough ruffle. I don't really mind that hanging off, but maybe we can add a little glue on the end there and push. There we go. Now it's not so hanging off. I like that better. Okay, so the next thing on this one is to add a little piece of this, I think. I like. Make that a little smaller. And we're just going to place that right on top there. So I just need a little dab of glue just to hold that there where I would like it. Okay. Try not to press it on the glue because I don't want it all over my fingers. There we go. Just fold that in half and throw it away. Okay. There we go. Now we want a little sentiment. I think I like this one. It says, everything possible to be believed in. Wait. Everything possible to be believed is an image of truth. Wow. Don't know why I can't read today. And we're going to go ahead and just cut this guy out. Make sure we trimmed all the white off, because we don't have white going on in this project. And then give it some ink. And that's going to end up on there with a gear coming out on the side, and how about a gear coming out on that side? Add a couple little gears. That would be, just adds to it, doesn't it? I bought these metal gears at Michael's, and they used to be on an end cap. If you shop Michael's, you probably know these well. They've moved them to the jewelry area. They literally had to ask, where did you move them to? Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Maybe a couple up here. Or one, or I did a couple small ones up there, but I'm thinking I might do small ones again. Now let's see, I like this one. Let's go ahead and get some glue on that one and stick that right there. And then how about this little small one right there? And we'll just stick it right overlapping there. Okay, so there's that one. And we're going to let this dry. And we're going to come back to this one. So this one, before I add the gears to the side, we're just going to go ahead and, because this side is very simple. And I'm keeping the insides as simple as possible because that's what's going to be up against paper and whatever you decide to have it, you know, whatever you decide to have it tied onto. So I have this. This is just Hobby Lobby. If you have a Hobby Lobby near you. And if you see, this is kind of hanging off right here. Well, this little edge down here, I'm going to have it hang off as well. So then that white that's showing looks now a little more gray, blended in. So let's go ahead and give it some glue here. And come back in and glue these little things down here. And that right there is technically done. What I did do though on mine, on the other one I did add a couple gears. I know there's gears here, but I just thought it would be fun to add a couple that are a little bit more 3D. Something like that. Just simple. Just simple. 1 and 2. So now that's it. That's all we need to do. Now if you want to, you can add, you know, some more gears up here. You can add a small one up here and go on the laws of 3. But we really do have 3. 1, 2, 3. So there, oopsie, little piece of fabric in there. Let's get that out. Okay. So now we've got that going. And she needs gears and some more on her, but let's go ahead and this one should be somewhat dry enough to work with. Okay. So we're going to use this back side, and for that we are cutting out this parasol. So let's go ahead and roughly cut this out. Now this one is printed on 20-pound. I can't remember, it's 20-pound or 24-pound. I don't remember what I had in my printer at the time. I'm going to say 24-pound. I found it feels a little thicker than 20-pound. So, but my original one was 20 pounds, so I know you can do it with that too. And you can use cardstock if you want, but remember we are going to be folding this, so you want it to be pliable to fold nicely. And sometimes with thicker papers, it gets a little harder. So, and then we want to cut this out. One of these days I might get one of those scan and cuts. I don't know if they're worth it, not worth it. I don't know anybody that actually has one to even ask them about it. If you have a scan and cut, leave me a message. Do you like it? Is it worth it? Or is it better just to do this by hand? Let me know. Inquiring minds want to know. I know there's a little bit of white, but don't worry, we're going to go over it with the ink. I don't want to accidentally cut into my parasol, because then I'd have to go run and print some more. Okay. And we are going to almost got this cut out. I'm sorry, I know this is painful. You can fast forward. Because I'm not saying anything important. Alright, last little bit. Okay. Let me get our scraps out of the way here. Okay. The next thing we want to do, though, is to ink up the back, because when we fold it up, we're going to see that, and we don't want it to be white. So I'm just going to take my brown and ink this side up pretty good. And it just has to be this top portion. That's what's going to show, right? So that's what I want to get done. Grab that. And a little, maybe give it just a little bit of the gold on there. Okay. Now I'm going to go with the gold on our, excuse me, outer edges here. I don't know who has more ink, my project or me. I always end up with it all over. Now, this little piece here, we're just going to take our fingernail and pluck it off. Don't worry, we are going to use it. But we just need to pluck it off a little bit to put it where we want it. Otherwise, it's going to be in the way of the pocket. So, there we go. And then we're going to, of course, just fold this. I might kind of use this as a guide, just so I know where I want it folded. Okay, there we go. See, we've got our, we don't have any white showing there. We have our inked up areas right there. Okay, there we go. and they touch just barely, and we're going to put a little tab of glue just right there so they're together. Just a spot, little spot. There we go. And put that right on top. Now we have a little pocket after that dries. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to line it up like that, and this is just going to end up kind of behind right there. So this is going to get completely glued down. We did not take away from the parasol at all. It does not, it ends up not looking funny, which is of course what we want. We don't want it to look funny, right? It actually looks like, get out of there, little fuzz. I don't want you. Come on. Okay, hold that steady. And there's your, now your parasol, your lever shade handle. And this one, since that's kind of dry now, to glue down, I'm just going to glue down on these flaps, because if we glue down here, we won't have a pocket if you want to use it as such. I'm going to cut out some of those words and add it into the pocket. The words we were discussing, these ones here. So I'll just do one to show you. And this probably would be better on a heavier, little heavier paper, but you can always back it with some coffee dye paper or something. But it'd be really cute with a whole bunch of little words coming out. See? And that's it. I did on this one add a little gear in the corner. We could do that as well on this one, just to keep with the little theme. You don't have to. Sometimes it can be a little overboard, but there we go. Then we got a little gear right there. All right. Now we got a front and a back. A front and a back. But we need to add some gears on her. And when I printed her, she came out really dark. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but this is lace and this is gears up here, and it's really hard to see. On mine, that I did, the first one I did, I went in with a gold pin, and I just kind of played with it. So, especially so you can see the handle, because you can barely see this little handle. So, in between her fingers there and up. And then there are little dots on here, and I just kind of followed the dots around. And then I just continued the dots, because they're only in that one spot as well as right here. So I just followed that around. And just gave it some cute little dots. And then you can go back in if you wanted to, and you can go along the lines of the parasol wires if you want, or you don't have to. I'm not going to do that on this one because I want to possibly glue a few gears up here where this is supposed to be gears. So I don't want too much, right? So let's see, maybe this little small one. Okay, so we got some gears, little gears there we're going to add. Alright, so there's some little gears on the top of her umbrella. Sticking to my finger. The other thing I did on this one is I did add one of the little quotes. So we'll go ahead and cut out another one. We have really fast here. Steampunk is nostalgia for whatever was. That's what this one says. And we're going to end up adding that down there. As well as a gear. I think I want it more like that. And then I want to add a little piece of this lace, I think. Not very much, just a little. I might even, will it rip? Oh, yay. It ripped. I'm thinking a little bit on this little side over here, and maybe even a little on this side, but I may have forgotten and glued her all the way down. I did. Dingy. I can be dingy. Okay. No two project turns out exactly alike, does it? Okay, let's just pull that up just a little bit. We're going to add some glue. And sorry if you can hear the gardeners outside. They just showed up and I hear their leaf blowers now, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. Hopefully it's not too bad. There we go. Let's just add a little lace on that corner. Just to kind of finish it off. Then we want, of course, we want to ink up our little quote, which is going to go up here. And I'm only doing it with the gold. Okay, let's go ahead and get that down where we want it. I'm thinking about right there is perfect. And let's add our little gear right there. Now you can add more gears if you want. This one I actually went ahead and I have 1, 2, 5, 6 gears I think on here. But I think I'm going to keep this one a little more simple and just do it here and here. Knowing me, I'll come back and add something. Maybe another gear right there. I think, yes. I think another gear right there would look great. Let's do that. Right there. Okay. Now here's the fun part. We get to figure out where the holes go. So I have my big shot. And I'm actually going to, so I get them in the right spot, I'm going to line them up. Oh, that's loud. I'm sorry. My window's not even open, and that's loud. I'm going to take this here, and I'm just going to, I want to hold it together so it doesn't move when I'm putting the holes in it. And then I got to decide where exactly do we want these holes. So, and I kind of just eyeball it. The first one's the easiest hole. I will tell you that. But I want to make sure I get it all the way in the tag. So there's about 1/8 of an inch there. So you can go in and add eyelets if you want. I'm not a very good eyelet person. I do them and they just pull out. So I want to make sure I kind of get this in the right spot. Oh my gosh, that's loud. That's right there. make a little spot. Put it in our Big Shot or whatever you're using to cut. Oh, hello. Why aren't you going through? I think I'm trying to go through a gear. Oh, shoot. I might be trying. No? Am I? I bet you I'm trying to go through a gear. I am. So I am going to... Sorry. Oh, I shouldn't have put the gears down first. You might want to put your holes in first, because it's not going to go through that gear, obviously. So I'm going to have to take the gear off and put it back on so I can get it the hole where we want it. Okay, now we can get through there. Okay. And we'll just put that back on. Right where it needs to be. This one is, let's see, well, we want to kind of line up that hole. Now I have this white now because it pulled the paper off. So I am going to give it some ink. Let's give it some good old-fashioned ink here. I think that will help it some. And since this has holes in it, I think I'm going to now turn this to where it's the hole is over a hole. There's always a way to fix it. Always, always, always. And it doesn't even bother me that I'd make mistakes on videos, because it gives me a chance to show how it can be fixed. So here we go, and right there, and I know you probably can't see it, but there it does go through the hole. See, there's my pen. So now we're just going to need that to dry for a second. Let's let that dry. And while that, oh, I did cut through that one though. I wonder why I didn't cut through the other one. So definitely put your gears on after your holes. Live and learn, right? Live and learn. Okay, so I have this lace that we took a little piece off of her bottom of her dress, and this is actually vintage. It is got this whole bag of fun stuff, and it is basically a bias tape. I don't know if I have another one in here to show you or not, but it's a lace bias tape is what it is. So I think you can get it at Walmart. This actually is vintage. I don't know if you can find black or not, but it is out there. Okay, so now we want to put our lace through the hole. I need something to poke it with to get it through. So I'm going to pull, I'm going to come down on this end, come through the back, and then again do the same thing in through this hole and pull that lace through. And just so you know, that could be a little belly band if you want it to be. And then we're going to pull that, and we're going to do the same thing for this one. This is your back side. I mean, this is your inside, this is your outside. You, on this one, you want to go from the outside in again. Oops, I need add a little glue there. You need to add just a little glue there. Get that down. We don't want that pulling up. And then of course, this one through that hole. Pull through. Just kind of pulling on that little gear there. Okay, and now you just want to, of course, make this. This is going to be a pain, isn't it? Oh, come on. That gear is in the way. Okay. There we go. I usually like to leave like a little 1/8 to 1/4 inch in between, because I don't know what I'm tying it to yet. And then I go ahead and cut that. I'm going to cut these a little long because I may have to make it wider. Maybe it's going to go around something wider. So you want to have a little room to do that. And then you just tie it up. And now you've got a cute little tie. A cute little tag tie thing. I wish I had a better name for it. But be so easy just to wrap around something. A mini book, Happy Mail, ephemera that you want to keep together, book pages, you know, anything you want to keep together. And there you go. And there you have it. Isn't that cute? It is so cute. And they're actually so useful. This is probably about the 6th one I've made in a couple weeks, so I'm really liking them. There we go. And I might just trim off a piece there. Okay. My bow's a little bit bigger, but then again, like I said, we don't know what it's going to go around, and we want some extra on this end in case we need to expand it. So there we go. There is our prototype and what we made today. So you can obviously add a lot more to it if you want. That's up to you. I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to come back and show more if Sherls would like me. I have another idea for some of her stuff. So I might just sneak on one day and just do it. So fun. There you go. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I hope you play with these papers. They're so fun to play with, and show us what you make. Have a great day.